We both were comfortable with having a big family because we grew up, both of us, with lots of family around. And I think God just blessed our openness and said, okay, if you're going to listen.
All the kids are different. It's amazing. They all have their own personalities.
Yeah. God has engineered this family the way He wanted to, and we just love it.
It's a small army, and but we figured it out.
Sort of.
We might get there a couple minutes late, but we figured it out.
I'm Lisette Lange. I am a native San Antonian, native Texan. I'm born and raised here in this lovely city and really blessed to be able to raise my kids here too. I'm one of 3 in my family. We're really blessed to grow up with lots and lots of aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents. My dad is one of 7 and my mom is one of 4 in her family, and that's always been family to me. It's just lots of people, loud holidays, and just joyfully big.
My name is Matthew Lange. I'm living in San Antonio, Texas. We're a small family. I have one sister. I grew up a Catholic, remained a Catholic, never fell away from the church. Was an altar server as a young boy at St. Patrick's in Laredo. Then again in New Mexico, helped a priest there in New Mexico on the altar. Got to change the music on the church bells. I'm always involved. And then in Midland, I was kind of the groundskeeper at the church during high school when I was at home in the summer from the seminary. Went to seminary throughout high school. The priesthood was not for me, and went on to St. Mary's University, and like I said, that's where I met Lisette.
Do you remember how we kissed in the kitchen as the coffee pours?
I think the main thing I wanted was someone who would challenge me, and I wasn't very careful about that prayer, and God gave me someone who challenges me all the time. It's the right thing, and He always is helping me, challenging me to grow, to get out of my comfort zone, whether it's food or new experiences. But the main thing was, someone who was going to share my faith with me, who was willing to, have kids and live in San Antonio, because that's where I wanted to be. And I knew that's where I wanted to be because I wanted to be around family and have my kids have that experience growing up.
What are we gonna do?
We got engaged and started having children right away. So for 20 years, we were the Langes having children.
I know we both were comfortable with having a big family because we grew up, both of us, with lots of family around, but we didn't ever sit down and say, I want 5 kids, I want 3 kids.
I want 2.7 kids.
No, and I think God just blessed our openness and said, okay, if you're going to listen, then He would bless that. Well, our oldest, Maximilian, he's 21, so he just graduated from college, the University of Dallas. He's always been involved in sports all the time since he was very, very small. He loves music, and he's always willing to play with the kids. He loves to cook. He was the first one that really kind of helped take that on in the family, always willing to, sure, Mom, I'll run to the store, or I'll go pick up so-and-so from practice, and just really, really a very obedient, peaceful child. He was an easy baby.
And he was our first homeschool student.
Yeah. And then
Juliet's now in college.
She's 19, yeah.
She's 19 at Benedictine in Atchison, Kansas.
Which is so far away, but it's a great school. She's really loving it.
It's a great Catholic school.
She gardens, she loves animals, she wants to be a veterinarian. We've known that since she was tiny. The way she would talk to animals and just be so peaceful with the animals, and she was always curious about animals and not just like, oh, look at this furry rabbit. Like she wants to help them and heal them, and she's creative, she's talented, she's crafty. She'll just beautify wherever she is. That's who she is. She's also very, very quiet. She's one of our quietest children. So her work speaks for her. The things that she does and she touches speaks for her.
One thing I love about being in this family is just all the relationships that I get to have with the kids at all different ages, and just seeing how they grow and how I grow with them. And the relationships change, but it's still good and so interesting and fun.
So Alexa started ballet dancing a little bit later in life. She started younger and then gave it up for a while and then came back to it. So she ended up on pointe shoes, and she was a teacher at her ballet studio, and realized that that's just something she likes to do. She likes to help younger kids. She likes to mentor and teach. And so she's going to be a theology major and see where God leads her with that degree. But I think she really is just such a natural leader and teacher. She's very active in 4-H also.
And American Heritage
Girls, which is a great organization. She was the senior girl lead. She was the club president for 4-H. Like, she just leads everything that she does and loves it. She does it with a smile. She's our sunshine. She just is always happy and just like an inner peace that she has, which is really beautiful.
One of my favorite things to do with my family is altar serving, and I've been doing it since I was in 4th grade, and I remember my older siblings being altar servers, and I wanted to be just like them, and so I've been doing it for so many years, and then I was able to continue doing it even after we moved parishes, and then recently my parents are leading the altar serving program, so I've been able to help with the trainings. I'm not only able to do it with my siblings, but I'm able to work with a bunch of other kids and teach them and just show them how to reverence the altar and talk about not just what we do as altar servers, but also why we do it, and just getting to share my love of serving the Lord with not just my siblings, but also all the other young people in the community.
So Liliana is our 4th one, and she is 15. She just had her quinceañera, which was beautiful, and she was very blessed by the prayers of so many in her community as she makes this journey into young womanhood.
She plays basketball.
Loves basketball.
Loves basketball.
Basketball gets her out of bed in the morning. Well, Jesus gets her out of bed in the morning, but basketball's right behind that. She works really hard. She is very patient with the younger ones. She has a very motherly attitude. I can see her down the road definitely being just such a beautiful mother. She has a lot of patience with the kids.
I really like being in a big family because there's always somebody to play with. There's always somebody just around to be there, and I just really like being in a big family.
So Nicodemus is number 5, and he is 12 years old now. He plays baseball.
He is an entomologist, so he's learning a lot about bugs. And not just, oh, that's a cool looking bug, but really the scientific names and what they do and how they work. And he helps a lot outside with the chickens in the garden and just doing those kinds of things. And
he likes building rockets, model rockets.
He's a trailman.
He's in trail life.
Yes, he's always curious, and sometimes it gets him into trouble. So he definitely teaches us to be in constant prayer for his safety and good choices. But I know that God's going to use his curiosity and his strong will for something amazing. Anyway, so Seraphina is our 6th one. She's just a very sweet, sweet person. She's funny. As a 6th one, she's not a loud personality, but every so often she just pops off with something hilarious.
All the kids are different.
So
amazing.
different.
They all have their own personalities.
Yeah. She's very patient with her younger sister. Very patient with her younger sister.
Yeah.
I like playing with my little sister Zelly because she likes to play dolls with me. And she likes to play house. And she likes just to be with me.
Number 7 is Malachi, and he is now 8, and he's also in Trail Life and in 4-H, and just getting into baseball. He's played a couple years of baseball now.
And flag football?
And flag football, yeah.
Play flag football. Sally's the baby. She's 3.5 now, and she just is a ball of joy and personality and strong opinions.
And curls.
And curls. And she is a force to be reckoned with already. We're all a little concerned. But she is a precious, precious person. When I turned 40, we found out that we were pregnant with Ellie, and she's very much a surprise gift.
It's like 7 months.
Yeah, it was about 7 months. And we were blessed again that the doctor that I was, of course, seeing a high-risk doctor because by this time with all the C-sections and I'm diabetic and this and that and all these kinds of things, they were like, and I was old. They love to tell me that I was old all the time. So sometimes even just dealing with the medical profession, trying to have peace with we know what God's telling us and their wisdom saying, no, this isn't good. This isn't good. I mean, we had a lot of those questions like, you shouldn't be doing this. And so having to stay true to our faith during that time was hard.
And all the tests. They wanted to do all these tests on the baby and on Lisette.
Yeah.
Especially because she was
But
40 now.
Yeah, because we were with the high-risk doctor, he just saw something on one of my many, many sonograms, and he said, I want someone else to look at this. And he sent it off, and within a day or two, we got the call from my OB, and she said, I need you to come in the office. And so she basically said that I was having some serious complications, and she needed to transfer my care to the emergency center, trauma center, actually, at the hospital here in San Antonio, because she said, we're just not sure how this birth is going to go. And it was terrifying. And our world just turned upside down. We thought we had 3 months before she was going to be born. The last 6 weeks of my pregnancy with her. So from that moment, we had 6 weeks till they were going to deliver her. We saw 4 or 5 different doctors.
Every week we're at the doctor.
And a different one because they wanted me to meet all the specialists that were going to have to be in the room to deliver her. Basically what they told us was that I couldn't deliver her via a regular C-section or I was going to hemorrhage. And they didn't want that, obviously. So they were going to try to do something different, just to take the baby a different way, from higher up and not cause that hemorrhage is what they were hoping for. But God is so good and faithful. And we had a baby shower in January, and it was just such a beautiful moment. Everybody had a candle that they lit and prayed with. While we were delivering Zelly, everyone was praying Divine Mercy Chaplet. They wrote beautiful letters to me and to Zelly, and just, it was incredible. I'm surprised I can get through that without crying, because I just cried that whole time.
The doctors, there was 7 surgeons in the operating room.
There was 20
It was really
people.
the only C-section that I couldn't be in there for.
That was hard.
So
They had blood on standby for me. And
30 units of blood ready for her.
they knew
So
that
people donated blood
for me.
for Lisette. So it would be at the hospital.
And prayed with us, and just laid hands on me after mass. Father was praying with us every time we needed. I was anointed before we went in. Just so many times that God was present in those people and in those moments to say, I am here don't worry. And I understood what a little tiny bit of what, Christ did for us on the cross. And I was just blown away that I was able to even think those kind of thoughts at that moment. I was just like, wow, God is good. And I came through it, needless to say, and so did she. And she was in the NICU for 3 weeks after that. And that was awful. I think that may have been worse than the delivery part, to be separated. I'd never been separated from one of the kids. And I was physically not able to be with her. The way I had the surgery, it wasn't even just a C-section. It was a major abdominal surgery. And so I could only sit at the hospital for maybe an hour a day with her. And that was just heart-wrenching. I was having a pump and I know other families in the NICU have been through so much more, but for me, that was just terrible. Matthew was amazing. It was
trips 30 miles back and forth to take the baby, breast milk, and
multiple times a day.
Be with the baby,
just
be with
hold her.
Ellie.
And they wouldn't let anybody in, but you and me
and our mom
and our moms, if you were with them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like people could come and be with her. So it was really hard to know that she was alone parts of the day.
In the world, 30 miles from us at age 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
But that was an extraordinary exercise in trust for us and surrender and just knowing we couldn't do anything different and had to just leave her in his hands. And for me, it was a moment where I really understood why Matthew and I were married, because
it took that long.
Yeah. No, it didn't. Again, with God and his amazingness, the first place we took her when they released her from the hospital, we drove straight to Mass. And we went to Mass on Sunday as a family, all 10 of us. And it was my mom's birthday, so it was a great gift all the way around. And we're just happy tears, so much joy,
Yeah, she hadn't even been home. She went straight to church. Father lifted her up on the
and the whole
at the altar.
Church, prayed for her and had been praying for her, and it was just really beautiful.
So Lisette and I work together. She's the best boss, but I can't get away with anything. She knows where I am. She knows when I'm not at work. She knows when I am at work, which is a double-edged sword, if you will. But it's so positive because I know that if I keep her busy as an attorney and her father as an attorney busy and accountant and run the office and handle all the day-to-day stuff at the office, and from changing light bulbs to ordering paper to scheduling to handling all the software and the computers and keep everything like a well-oiled machine, then we all get to help each other. When something goes wrong at the house, she knows if I can really come home to fix it.
He loves on our kids so much, and he always has. And we've never disagreed about kids and how many kids we were going to have. I mean, we've always just been super open to life. He knew, especially after the first few, what that meant. It meant the sleepless nights. It meant the diapers. It meant, having a steady job to provide for everybody. He's always taken that really seriously. Even when he had a job he didn't love, he stayed in it so that he could provide for us. And we know he made that sacrifice for many, many years to keep us clothed and fed. And I mean, I can only work so much, which is fine and perfect, but he is the breadwinner. He's the one that keeps the roof over our heads, and that's a huge part of it.
We say at least a decade of the rosary here in this room every night. And on the way to church, we say a decade of the rosary on the way to church, and we alternate. The baby starts off the first Hail Mary. There's 10 of us, and that's the decade. So each of us gets a Hail Mary, and each kid takes turn leading it. Yeah. So on Monday is one child, and Tuesday is the next, and
so the oldest and youngest do share a day because there's 8 kids. So my oldest had to kind of move over and make room for his baby sister, but he's her godfather, so he was okay with sharing.
we get to go to daily mass more often than we would otherwise. It helps us pray together about what to do with the kids. It lets us just spend time with them, so much time with them. And we're able to learn about the saints together. We're able to learn about God in science class. We're able to learn just everywhere we are, whether it's at the beach or even filming this, having, our daughter who's interested in STEM, come look at these microphones and cameras. And we realize there's opportunity for prayer and learning all the time and everywhere we are in our Catholic faith community. And we really have journeyed together and learned so much from them about how to live a holy life, how to strive for a holy life, how to live the liturgical seasons. We love doing Lenten tea parties and having saints feast days as a party day at our homeschool co-op. Just amazing things. And I'm in awe of the children's prayer life as they're getting older. Just seeing, my daughters knowing they're praying the rosary, seeing them walk out of the room with the rosary in their hand, and they're not doing it to show anybody. I notice because I'm their mom, or them knowing, so much about their confirmation saints, or my younger children being able to talk about stories in the Bible so well and understand the truths of the faith and being prepared for First Communion because, we're able to prepare them at home and just go through all of that. So for us, homeschooling has really been a way that God has talked to us even about and growing in our faith, because we have to know what we're talking about. Otherwise, we can't teach it. So we've had to learn a whole lot.
And then other things we do outside of school are Trail Life and American Heritage Girls. Mm-hmm. So we do that as a family. Trail Life is for boys and young men, and American Heritage Girls is for girls. And we get to do things like beautify the church property. We've done everything from cleaning up the cemetery to picking up trash on the side of the road to heading to a pro-life march at the state capitol. All kinds of things that are raising godly men and holy young ladies. Outside of school.
And they're Christian organizations,
Yep.
both of which.
Yep.
The Trail Life Troop is a Troops Fully Alive,
Yeah.
which means...
That we're a Catholic troop inside of Trail Life.
What do the boys pray the rosary together?
Yeah, we-
and play football together.
Yes.
Do boy things.
Yes.
I don't
Boy
know.
things.
What you
And
do.
boys get in trouble and boys have a lot of fun, and we're helping to raise them up. So,
And they pray together.
yeah.
And we do 4-H, which is a youth development organization,
Yeah.
and it has something for everybody.
It has agriculture, it has gardening,
Fashion.
it has fashion. But then something we do just as our family is we run the altar serving group at our parish.
With one of our deacons and his wife. So
Yep.
we're the team. God has engineered this family the way he wanted to, and we just love it. There's always someone to get a hug from. There's always someone to play with. There's always someone to drive you crazy, and that's just real. But the kids have learned so much about relationship in a big family.
It's a small army, and but we figured it out. We are the Lange family, and we are joyfully big.
My life is a miracle. Every child has a story of God's love to share. Shalom world, tune into God's love story.